This is the October 25th, 2002 Special Election Committee meeting. We do have a quorum. We have all the members of the committee here this morning. First order of business, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes from the October 17th meeting. Are there any concerns or questions regarding that?
Nice job. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so we will say that those are approved as written. First new business order, committee member consensus recap. If you remember, I had made a proposal and we had discussed it, and this is in the packet that you have, and also the information for the meeting, that we are going to, if part of our process, we're going to change slightly, and that is we're going to, in essence, break it into two pieces. The first piece is what I call the petitioner piece, and that is the process where members come in, they pick up a packet, they go and collect signatures. At the time they pick up the packet, they'll be given information regarding the forthcoming events as part of the election process that they're expected to be part of. So we'll be giving them the information that they need in order to perform the petitioning process, including the rules regarding where they can and cannot collect signatures. After the petitioners have submitted their signatures, those are and they've been confirmed as valid, then the petitioner will become a candidate. At that point in time, the additional information will be provided to the candidate, which includes the information regarding training, the information regarding how the board works, all of the other things that had typically been provided at the same time. This is only a process change to help reduce some of the upfront load on the committee and on Karen Ripken in getting all of this information together. So the new petitioner packet will be this big instead of that big. So I just want to make sure that everyone has, again, gone over that and that we're all still in agreement. Any objections to that? Okay. It doesn't really change the election process. It's only the committee's process. All right, so thank you very much. Next, committee member coverage of the petitioner packet sign up for November 1st to 4th. I have that right over here. We have already circulated it. All of the time slots are filled. So there will be someone in the administrative secretary's office during that period, and that is beginning Tuesday afternoon, and to help with handing out packets because Karen will be busy with her other duties. The next order of business, 3.04, is a review of the key election dates. This is in the information that you have in front of you. Katie did a wonderful job of making this nice and readable in a graphics. It's very, very, very clear, and I don't think there's any question regarding any of the things at all. Thank you, Katie, by the way, for doing this. Really appreciate it. The only other parts of the election process that are not part of this are those activities that the committee has to do, and that is, we have a few things, for example, the training and the forums and the meet the candidate activities, and that's not on here, but we have those also. Yes?
Brian, I wonder if on the election schedule, should we add something about the, when the candidates will be announced after after their petitions have been reviewed? Should we add in a block for that?
I don't know that we need to have an announcement per se. I mean, they will be each given the traditional candidate badges, and we will proceed from there. I don't know that, is there typically been an announcement, a list of these are the people? Because I'm not familiar with that having ever been done in the past.
I think it's under key dates.
Okay. Well, we have that here. We have the qualified candidates are notified, but I don't know that there's any announcement per se of the names of the candidates.
So the purpose of this particular sheet is, I mean, it's in addition to the key dates, But how is this particular sheet used? Who is it
This
distributed?
this is for us to make sure that we are all in sync and we know the exact dates that the events are going to occur, especially the election itself and the that is not only when the voting begins, when the voting ends, that when in-person voting occurs, and that's, again, election day, and we will all have to be part of that activity in order to help. But this is just for a summary sheet, nice and concise, for anyone who's interested, wants to understand what is the election process schedule for this year.
Brian?
Yes.
So if you all sign off on all these dates today, it is the sort of graphic for the public that we'll start using in our social media and in different material that goes out to the public, because it's easier for them to digest. Some of your key dates that have to do with the candidate photos and such don't need to go to the public.
Correct.
So that's why the colorful graphic was created more for the public side of it.
Yes.
So if we get sign off on all those dates and times, that'll start being distributed to the public, because that November date is important for them to know they can start picking up the packets.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
If it's to be distributed to the public, then I think that the date that the candidates will be announced is important.
Okay, you keep using the word announced.
So per the bylaws, they have to be announced in the March Rec Center News, which is why the timeline was developed. So to put a specific date is going to constrain everybody with any kind of, depends on when it falls on the holidays and whatnot. But the deadline is the March Rec Center News. So, I mean,
All
we can
right.
put that in there, but it's not going to fit on an 8.5 by 11 if we add another column. So it's going to get a little more difficult to distribute this to the public, but it's always in the March Rec Center News as far as the formal announcement to
Yeah.
the public. And then we do usually put it in earlier in the social media, because we don't have the same deadline constraints that we do with the Rec Center News.
I believe that once they are told that their candidacy has been accepted, they may start campaigning on that date. Therefore, I think the public should realize that they are able to campaign. So in my opinion, it's an important date, because that's the date they can start campaigning.
And how would you propose that this announcement occur?
I'd have to think about how it's worded in the
I mean,
petitioner's.
I would
packet.
suggest that could be posted on the website. Let's say the following petitioners have been qualified as candidates for the election.
Yeah, we do that in the press release, but the way the candidate photos are scheduled and the day the Rec Center News deadline falls with all of that, it's one thing to certify them, it's another to hit the deadlines for the Rec Center News, so it becomes difficult to formally announce it as soon as they're certified. So that gets a little bit tricky. Our formal announcement is the Rec Center News, where their photos are in there and their bios are in there. As soon as you get them certified, we can certainly put out the press release. That's no problem. If you want to start putting a specific date on there, I would check with Karen. She's got to do the certification process. I don't know what her timeline is for that.
Well, we know that it certainly will be not later than the end of the first week of January, because all of the petitioner packets have to be in by January 3rd. So,
But then we have to go through those signatures.
Yes.
And verify them with the owner member database and
Right.
make sure that they've reached their
Yes, of
number. So I
course.
don't know how long that process takes. I don't want
Right.
to speak for Karen.
well, it's my understanding that some of that is inflow. If people turn them in the second week of December, that those are submitted right away to be processed. So those, in other words, rather than waiting until the very end. So it could not be before January the 6th.
So when is this particular graphic released and where?
We just start putting it out with our press releases. So generally, we get that list of certified candidates. So Karen verifies them, verifies the signatures. She sends the list to me. I put a press release together and I run it with this graphic. So the public knows, because they're seeing the names in the press release. Here's the certified candidates. And then this graphic is meant to
Okay.
be those deadlines that the public needs to be aware of.
Okay, that answers my question. So you're releasing this graphic at the same time as you're announcing who the candidates, the certified candidates are.
Yes, I mean,
Correct.
I put those November dates on there for you guys, for me, for internal
Yes.
discussions. We can put it out there for anyone that wants to run for the board, but I don't think there's ever been a huge concern about, oh my gosh, who was certified, and it's January 6th, we need to know who was certified. So it gives us a little bit of play on when we get those certifications done, but it's never later than the second week in January that we get that all out. I
And
don't
s-
think, in other words, I don't think we need to put it on this colored graphic in order for us to reach that deadline. It's not gonna delay us in getting it out.
And when is this, when is this put out?
Usually when I get that press release done, when Karen gives me the names.
Okay. Is it in the newspaper or is it on social media?
It's gonna be on social media first.
Okay.
Because the deadline for the Rec Center News is very cumbersome. We're already working on the November one actually has gone to press, so the next issue is gonna be the December issue
So it's fairly rapid after the certification is complete?
for social media,
Okay.
yes.
That answers my question.
Okay, good, thank you. And Katie, thank you for the clear explanation, I appreciate it. Are there any other questions regarding the schedule for the election and the board activities, or the committee activities, rather? Okay, that is the end of the formal business that I had for today. I will ask for comments from the committee. You've done yours, okay. Good, and thank you for getting that clarified. We have an audience member here. Would you have, thank you for attending, by the way. Do you have any comments or questions that you'd like to pose to the committee? I do not. All right, thank you very much. In that event, then I will adjourn the meeting. Our next meeting will be on November 22nd, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving, so everybody keep that in perspective, please. And please also, if you are unable to attend a meeting, let me know in advance. Appreciate it. Okay, that's in advance. Thank you. And I would like to say that the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.